Social media and dating apps have destroyed dating. Anybody still trying to find somebody through those avenues? Cooked. Absolutely cooked. I still continue to get comments like this on a video I posted a few months ago about, jokingly, but I'm being actually very serious, suing Hinge, because that algorithm I feel like is so anti-Black, and based on the hundreds of comments of other Black women who are having the exact same experience, something is awry. Now, I have been slow to post a response to all the comments I received on that video. It blew up more than I expected because I am no longer on the dating apps. I'm actually taking a very, very cool hiatus from dating because it's just so bad. Why does a dating app have an option to have, I'm figuring out my dating goals, I'm looking for something short term? Like, I'm not looking for that. And it seems like every guy on there is looking for that. But I do have some very good friends who are still actively on the dating apps, who are still trying to find the love of their life. They are Black women, they are successful, they are well-traveled, they are multifaceted, they have so many hobbies. They are like the most fascinating, most beautiful and incredible people I have ever met. And the app is continuing to feed them the most vile, unemployed, non-serious, hypersexual, scary men like I've ever seen in my life. And I emphasize on them being Black women because, yeah, the dating apps seem to be bad for everybody, but I see the experience of my white counterparts on the app. Some of my girlfriends who are white, their app looks completely different. The men they are getting shown, completely different. And on top of that, they have an equal parts white men liking them, and the rest of the men are men of color, right? Black men, Asian men, Indian men, all the types of men. So I don't want to open Pandora's box of like, well, yeah, because they don't date Black women and they only want to date white women. And I had a lot of those men on my video trying to push that narrative that no one wants to date Black women. I rebuke that narrative so heavy. Yes, there is a bunny hopping epidemic, but to like spew out nobody wants to date Black women, yes, it is harder for us. I 100% know that. I know dating as a Black woman, it is harder, but I know there are Black women who have found success pre-2023. I think that's when the apps really took a nosedive. If you didn't find anyone before 2023, it's like finding a needle in a haystack there. But in the real world, more success than on the dating app. But something about the dating apps just seems so anti-Black, and it really pushes this experience. I just feel like dating apps and social media have destroyed the sense of dating. First off, apps being anti-Black, but second, nothing is natural about being able to swipe right, swipe left, and decide on how to pick a partner. Especially when now a lot of the men left on the dating apps are not looking for partners. They're not looking for anything serious. They're looking for like the quickest little way to get their pee-pee wet, and then they go on about their day. And then social media, there's literally men out here who like to use social media as a gauge of how to perceive you before actually taking you out. I had a man literally tell me from a dating app he wanted to get my social media because he said that's a sense of getting to know how you carry yourself as a woman. And I'm like, what? My social media grid that I don't post that often on is going to tell you what you need to know about me? It's like brain rot. Like men who literally think like this, it feels like there's more of them than they're not. You have to find a man at this point with no digital footprint. I think that's the only way. Find a man who hates the dating apps and find a man who is not on social media and cross your fingers that everything else about him seems to be normal, because there's nothing more terrifying than a man who's actively on Instagram and then they are on every single dating app. Like I've seen men from the dating apps from 2021 when I first moved to Chicago. They're still on there. Same exact photos from like 5 years ago. It's so weird. It's so scary. It's so bizarre. And I really feel like there needs to be somehow a class action lawsuit against these apps, or like everyone either needs to download them completely or they need to run out of business, because they've ruined everything. Like our generation is so cooked, so fried, and I wish dating apps never existed.
Okay, so I'm a little bit confused. So you have groupings of women who decide that they're not getting their fair share of men that they find or deem to be suitable and or attractive for a boyfriend, for a situationship, for an actual relationship, for being a fiance or a husband or somebody they just want to mess around with. And now they want to decide to sue the app because it is anti-Black woman. And you know the fact that the people who created this app originally created it for themselves and within their own likeness. So why would you think on any place on God's green earth that the app would be beneficial specifically to you. And one of the parts that I think was edited on her end was the fact of, if you go back, she says, and why would they give you an option to, and then it just cuts over to another part. I think she was going to say to filter out people, because I'm pretty sure the demographic that they are looking for have a preference, and when it deals with the dating preference, people are going to filter their dating preferences. But again, this is like the second video that I have directly on this whole thing dealing with the dating app and Hinge and all this other type of stuff, because the previous video that I brought to you guys today a little bit earlier stated that you have those out there deciding to race swap. And instead of stating that they are black, they were like, I'm just going to say that I'm white and or Asian or whatnot or whatever, and then hide my race and see what happens. And this is when I stated before that it's crazy to me that people feel as though that other people have an unfair advantage. So because it's quote unquote an unfair advantage in their eyes, they're going to decide to sue. Or jokingly, so there's no joking about this. If she had the money and the power and the backing, she would sue the dating app. And the main thing that I've stated before is that a lot of women out there would like to say that they're not desperate. Okay, cool, fine, no problem. This is reeking of desperation, where you say that you're proud openly on whatever social media profiles, like, hey, I'm proud to be this, I'm proud to be that, I'm proud where I'm from, and all this other type of stuff. But when it deals with the specifics of dating, when it deals with your preferences, now magically that whole thing of being so proud, it gets hidden, because now you're trying to compete with other women out there that you feel have much more of a lead and or an advantage directly over you. So now you're trying to masquerade subtly as them, meaning by way of online profiles. And that's crazy to me. And it's crazy how when it deals with the dating market or the dating pool, when it deals with online, like the lady said directly in the video, she was like, hey, I wish these apps never existed, and this, that, and the third, and all this. I mean, this has been around since the digital age, but realistically, it made it easier for guys to potentially talk to women, because in other normal circumstances, everyday life, they normally would not talk to said guy. So because you're talking to said guy that you normally wouldn't pick or even have a conversation, right? You wouldn't even look in his direction, because you're not, automatically looking at the person. You can at least talk to them. You're getting to know the inner workings of the person, right? You're getting to like that versus, oh, I see the outward appearance, I'm not attracted, next, right? So that was the one main appeal when it deals with online dating and the whole telephone thing and all those things dealing with guys. Now, like I said, I don't know what to tell people. There's filters, and I'm pretty sure just as much as the guys that are their preferences are using whatever filters to filter out certain women and certain profiles and ages and all this other type of stuff, I'm pretty sure what is not being talked about is how a lot of these women have filters, and they got them bad boys set to like 80 to 95% of the population, and so they're getting the selection that they are getting because, again, of the algorithm. Like I said in the previous video, their selective choices by the profiles that they skip, or the profiles that they deem that they like or don't like, and many other factors as well. It's going to get to the point, and I'm just going to give this warning out there to a lot of women, because for whatever reason, you have a lot of women out here that say that everything else is the problem, and it's not them. It's going to get to the problem, because if you model everything after China, you look at how China has been going, that any and everything that you do on social media is going to be collected by a lot of these apps. Once they have the okay access, or even if they don't, whatever information that they're able to get from your social medias over time, let's say over the last 5 to 10 years, they're going to compile that into a file database. So every single time you log into one of these dating apps, or any time that you go to a new dating app, that file is going to follow you. So whatever men that you've basically liked or didn't like, or maybe that's going to be your given every single time you appear on these dating apps. Because people don't understand that they make their own selective choices and reasonings by their own decisions every single day on social media. Every single, app or whatever it is that you like to use, IG, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, what is it? Blue Sky, X. I said that twice, but whatever. But again, whatever social media site that you go directly onto, it has its own algorithm. You are the one that can fine tune that algorithm and make it, do what you want it to do. If not, you're just going to be walking around stupid and just like dislike. And so you're narrowing down your selective choices on potential suitors. And then you want to run around and complain on social media, like you saw some of the other comments that she captured, talking about, they're, getting treated like a 5'6" man and all this other type of stuff. Nah, that's just how the world is. That's how the world is. But like I said before, it's crazy how, the height gets brought up when height can't be controlled. That 100% height cannot be controlled. I'm talking about outside of surgery. Height cannot be controlled. There's nothing that you can do. Being a man, like if you're born 5'8", you are 5'8". That it just is what it is. You just gotta hope that you have what it takes to get the attention of women. On the other end, if a woman is born 5'8", it's whatever it is. There's going to be men out there that want a woman that's 5'8". It just be like that. Don't matter if the dude is short. Don't matter if the dude is the same height. Don't matter if the dude is tall. Don't matter if the dude is the Eiffel Tower. There's going to be a selection of men, a variety of selection of men that don't care that a woman is 5'8". So, like I said before, it's crazy how a lot of those things get, brought up as, as if it's a hindrance for, a woman out here, even if it's just for like an example, so to speak. But still, like I said, the world is vastly different. Again, you don't really hear of men, at least I can't say that I've read any stories or heard any videos of guys talking about like, yeah, I'm about to go sue this dating app because I feel that it's anti, male, it's anti, it's ageist, it's anti 30s and 40s and 50s, or whatever it is that a guy can basically say is heightist, or something like that. And I'm gonna get a whole nother group of men and we're gonna sue this app and bring it down, because all men should. We don't care. You lose, you win, you win. That's the way that the world basically works. There are no specific cheat codes to basically help the situation. Now, again, if you are a woman, this could be one of the cheat codes. You could easily sue your way, into getting something. But even if you do that, does that then mean that you're going to get what it is that you feel that you deserve? No. I put it to you like this. Even if it got to the point where these women were able to sue Hinge for what it is that they say believe is going on, if it still comes out that those men are selectively still choosing, who are your preference, are still selectively choosing not to pick you, then what? Are you going to go single-handedly, bit by bit, and sue all of those men? No, you're not. You're going to sit up there and move on. And then the other, last but not least, I want to bring this up because I found it a little bit weird that it had to go into this direction, and somehow, some way, when it has nothing to do with this, it goes into this direction just to say something. This whole story had nothing to do with black men, but yet they found a way. And I said they because she listed, as other women and all this other type of stuff, right? Because of conversations or whatever she had in the comment section. Her and other women basically wanted to go on this thing talking about that there's a snow bunny epidemic, but you're on a dating app which primarily is going to showcase white guys and many other guys directly to you. And you know that you yourself, as the woman that you are, have a preference. And usually on those apps, that preference is not going to be men of your community. It's not going to have anything to do with black men, because again, if you want, just like everybody else normally tells black men, if you want a black woman, go to where black people are. So if those women are having issues, why don't you go to areas of which black men are? Why don't you start looking around at a lot of these colleges? Why don't you start looking at a lot of these black business meets and all this other type of stuff? But a lot of them can't do that because you have to meet a certain quota, right? Like they have, blacks in stem cell, right? Blacks in entrepreneurship or stuff dealing with cause. I'm just, naming stuff, but they have these different hierarchies. They have these different areas of which that black people in those areas go to meetups, right? Go to outings or dinners or whatnot or whatever to meet other black people in those fields. People like this and the many others in her comment section, they're not able to meet that grade. They're not within those circles. They're not within those areas. They don't talk to those people. So they're left directly out of that. So this is why, right? When you hear a lot of them happen to speak on a selection of men that they happen to seek and get and all this is why they have that selection, because they're not within that realm. They're not within those circles, right? They're not in the know of a lot of those things. But this is when about a year or so ago, there was a video where I think there was a black tech meetup. I think it might have been in Atlanta or something like that or whatnot or whatever. And you had a whole bunch of women talking about, oh, I'm about to sit up there and go down there and get me like a doctor or an engineer. And no, these women were not in any of those fields. They didn't have nothing. They probably didn't know nothing about nothing. And they probably don't know nobody there. But they were going there to sit up there and seek something directly out. And this is what I be talking about. You have people that are not really built to be there in those places, going to those places, right? You got people that can hold some actual real world conversations where it deals with, architecture, integral things dealing with the inner workings of, machinery or maybe the human body and different, right? They can hold some conversations, lengthy conversations. Within those conversations, they can pretty much teach you a course. And you have a lot of those women directly out there thinking that they can match up with that, and you can't. Like, that person could literally teach you something. They can give you something where you can actually move forward or at least have a basis to start. When you decide to have your conversations with men of that caliber, it's like, what do you really, in a sense, have to add? What can you really feed him? What can you really teach him? And it's like, you can't. You realistically can't unless you decide to take the initiative and, go back to school and, get a degree or, do whatnot or whatever. Or maybe, become an entrepreneur and you talk from that perspective. That way there's at least some type of a middle ground, which is cool. No problem. But like I said, in a lot of instances, women are not going to do that. Now, men, on the other hand, men will do that. Men will do whatever it needs to be done in order to captivate, get the attention, directly of a woman that they find suitable, right? To be girlfriend, to be fiance, to be a wife, long-term partner, whatever it is that, however it is that people, do and go about their relationships. But all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, her video was completely, fine. Like I said, I get what they're saying. It's stupid, but I get what they're saying. They feel that other women out here have a leverage over them and they want to even a playing field. It's a bit stupid. You just got to get better. It's a skill issue, realistically. If you really wanted to do something as the women that you see there, stated in a previous video, just pull your money together and start up an app that is controlled by you. Just do that. Make it that simple. Just make it that simple. That's all you have to do. But again, I can already see how that's going to go. It's not going to fare out too well. And just as fast as it is built, it is going to be down. I can already tell you, because the way that thing is going to be run and how it is that you're going to have, a variety of women in a sense flocking to that. And then they're going to specifically on their end, try to filter those women. Like I said, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. But, like I said. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video. I probably did have a point, and I probably left off on a point. It be like that though. But if you made it this far in this video, much love, respect, and appreciation. Thank you for everything that you do, both seen and unseen. Thank you for giving me a little bit of time, directly into your life when you did not have to. Thank you for being a viewer. Thank you for just, being here. And I will catch you in the next video. Peace out.